This is a video about refurbishing an old footstool / chair. So I start with this pretty old and dirty footstool, and the metal of this chair, the metal frame is rusty, the cushion is old, it's got water damage on the bottom, on the top, it's just really old and damaged. So I started by removing the screws that attach the metal frame to the cushion. So moving away from the cushion for a moment, we're just going to go back to the metal frame, and that's looking rusty and tired and old and needs a really good clean. So I've used steel wool and soapy water, given it a really good scrub and a hose down and a dry, and cleaned up the metal frame before adding paint. The paint I've used is Annie Sloan, and it's a chalk paint, and the colour is like a purple / grey, and it's called Paloma. I did look up some videos before using chalk paint on metal because I hadn't used chalk paint on metal before. I'd only used it on wooden objects, and the advice that seemed to be constant was to water down the chalk paint. So I did so. I just watered it down a little bit, and then I used an Annie Sloan brush, just one of her bristle brushes, and I applied the first coat. I could see the first coat separating in places from the metal frame, but I wasn't too worried because I really didn't want a perfect finish. I just wanted this to look like it had a little bit of a spruce up, a little bit of splash of colour. I don't even mind if it looked chippy or it had scratches in it. Really, at the end of the day, I wasn't going for a fully shabby chic look, but a worn look was fine for the paint anyway. I'm happy with that. It didn't need to be perfect. I had a look at what's underneath the worn cushion, so cut open the material, looked underneath the foam, and what's underneath is a wood chip type of base. That's fine, it's still in good condition, and I can reuse that and build on that. Once the bottom cover was removed, I could see the original colour, and the original colour is surprising. It's blue. It's like this dark blue, so it's nothing like the original top that we saw at the beginning of the video. I chose the same material that I've used before when I refurbed a music stool, and it's got roses and Paris and purple and blue colours, so it kind of goes nicely with that Paloma Annie Sloan Chalk Paint colour. You know, it was a successful combination of colours in the past, so I used that again. So I recovered the base with new foam. I didn't video that part, but I did video recovering the base. So I laid it face down, pulled the material tight around the edges, and then I just folded over each edge, and then I used a staple gun and I just staple gunned around the edges. I'm going to cut them off, those extra bits, because this material here, this one, is going to go across here. Because when it goes back on there, it like lifts up. Normally with cushions you don't need to worry about the bottom. The staples get hidden because they're on a base, but the difference here is that this cushion is going to go on a metal frame, which then has an ability to lift up, so you need something extra to cover the bottom of the cushion where I've stapled around, because we can't really leave that exposed and looking yucky. So I found some material, just some white vinyl type material, and I cut a square to size, and then I wanted rounded edges, so I just grabbed a jar out of my cupboard and I traced around the edges. I just lined up each edge onto the corners, and then I traced it with a pen, and then I just carefully cut around with some sewing scissors, and that achieved a rounded edge. I stapled the base cover on. I tried to do it tidily, you know, tried to space out the staples as best as I could evenly, and yeah, and that made a really tidy cover and base of this cushion, so I was pretty happy with that. I didn't film the second and third painting of the frame, but I did paint it, and I just painted it till I was happy with the coverage. I used Annie Sloan clear wax for the final setting or seal in of the paint. So when you apply Annie Sloan clear wax, it just makes it look a lot darker than the original colour, but when the wax dries, it just dries back to the original colour. Just to add an extra note on the painting, I definitely left 1 day between coats at least, just to make sure it was completely dry, because I really wanted to make sure it was going to adhere to the metal successfully and not just come off too easily. I don't mind scratches and I don't mind chips, but I don't want the whole thing just coming off. Finally, I just needed to re-screw the cushion back onto the metal frame and secure that in nice and tightly, and check that it had the manoeuvrability up and down, and that completed the refurbishment of the stool. So this style of seat is a seat that I actually grew up with. When we had guests over and we needed an extra chair at the dinner table, this is what was pulled out. You know, this was like a handy stool / chair, and when we were little we could actually fit inside it on that first step. It was always a handy chair. It must be from the 80s or the 70s, and you know, it could have been thrown away, but a bit of paint and just a recover of the cushion just, you know, spruced it up, and now we have an extra chair, and I've used it a few times as a footstool as well already. So I really enjoyed doing this because it was a bit of a blast from the past with a bit of a pretty twist, because I like pretty things. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll catch you later. See ya. Bye bye.